What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Amateur Hour TV, the second channel for Amateur Hour. On this channel, I like to go through additional NBA topics, especially concerning the Toronto Raptors in today's video. Mostly general NBA, but there is a little bit of a factor that includes the Toronto Raptors, which we are going to get into. But if you like what you see from the second channel today, be sure to drop a like, help support the channel. And if it is your first time here, or maybe you just haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so. Help us on a road to 1,000 subscribers, and make sure you're all subscribed to my main channel, Amateur Sports, for 3 Raptors videos a week. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers on that one. But today we want to discuss Kevin Durant. Now, I really wanted to make this like a main channel video on Amateur Sports, but today's video, which will be out, or either is out or will be out today, is about Thaddeus Young and Chris Boucher signing with the Raptors, because I think that's more relevant news to the Raptors that I do want to discuss. I would have liked to have made this Kevin Durant video for tomorrow, Saturday, but unfortunately, something could happen in the meantime that would cause that video to be irrelevant. So I would have to make that video today and post it tomorrow. And if something happens, it'll be a waste of my time. So not doing that. We're going to break it down here. No problems, though. Love talking on this channel. So, I mean, unless you're living under a rock, you've seen it. Kevin Durant has requested a trade away from the Brooklyn Nets. Now, this is a little bit shocking to me. If you told me 3 days ago, this wouldn't have been shocking, or before Kyrie Irving signed or opted into that one-year contract, I thought, like, once Kyrie was back, I'm like, okay, crisis averted for Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving is going to be back, so Kevin Durant doesn't really have any reason to leave. I mean, they're boys, and apparently Kyrie Irving doesn't want to do Kevin Durant dirty like that, so he's going to opt into his contract. So I thought everything was fine in Brooklyn. Then all of a sudden Kevin Durant doesn't want to be in Brooklyn anymore, and I'm trying to figure out why. I mean, they teamed up. They put this team together. You know, they got Brooklyn to make all these trades. They got them to give DeAndre Jordan a 4-year, $40 million contract. Like, they literally just went there to destroy the franchise. They got one playoff series victory out of all of this nonsense about this being like the greatest team ever assembled. And even though it is the best big three ever assembled, Kyrie Irving was just like so toxic within that group that nothing could materialize out of it. Like, last year was a really good opportunity to go for it. And Kyrie Irving, you know, being himself, cost the Brooklyn Nets so dearly. James Harden just didn't want to play with him, and he got out of there. And I'm sure he's looking back like, oh, thank God I got out of there. Kevin Durant's there. Apparently, like, him and Kyrie Irving are friends. So why would Kevin Durant want to leave like this? Well, apparently, it's not about Kyrie. It's about the Brooklyn Nets. They want to continue to play together, but they don't want to do it in Brooklyn anymore. And I'm trying to figure out why. Like, what has Brooklyn done to not want you to play there anymore? They've gotten the players around you. Like, they've gone out and made good trades. They've gone out and signed players. They traded away, I mean, not a good trade. They traded away a first-round pick to get Royce O'Neal, a very good complimentary piece, but they overpaid for him, in my opinion. But they wanted to put some good players around these two. And now Kevin Durant asked for a trade. That looks like it's going to happen. And Kyrie Irving apparently also wants to get traded. I mean, there's been no formal trade request. I don't know how they're going to I don't know how any team's going to put together like a $79 million package to take on all of that salary. But, I mean, I guess crazier things may have happened. Ultimately, Kevin Durant is available. Kyrie Irving may be a little bit more difficult to move. I think they'd struggle to move them together. But, like, I genuinely don't understand why they don't want to be in Brooklyn anymore. Like, you chose to go to Brooklyn. You barely did anything for the team, and now you just want to give up because Kevin Durant, when the going gets tough, well, Kevin Durant gets going. So, another example of that, another example showing a little bit how soft Kevin Durant is. Nonetheless, as much as I will criticize Kevin Durant for this one, would still love to have him on the Raptors. So, I did kind of want to discuss what sort of trade could the Raptors actually put together to get Kevin Durant. I mean, there's going to be a lot of teams. A lot of teams trying to get Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant dropping this, like, absolute bombshell on the NBA just a few hours before free agency began. Like, ultimate toxicity from Kevin Durant, 100%. But Raptors are going to be one of the teams on the phone, and I think they're going to be one of the teams on the phone with a legitimate offer. Props to Brooklyn. They're doing good work trying to get a trade to happen because their first 3 calls apparently were to the Raptors, Cavaliers, and the Pelicans. Now, I'll give you a second to try to figure out who they're trying to get in all 3 of those. If you're still a little lost, it's Scottie Barnes, Evan Mobley, and Zion Williamson. So Absolutely, their first call should have been to the Raptors trying to get Scottie Barnes. In my opinion, if the Nets are holding firm, they have to get Scottie Barnes for Kevin Durant. Raptors are not doing that. Now, I got asked a good question on Twitter yesterday in regards to that tweet, and somebody essentially asked, do you think Scottie Barnes will be as good as Kevin Durant? And in my opinion, it's going to be very difficult for Scottie Barnes to get to that level. It's unlikely. It's possible, but it's unlikely. Like, Kevin Durant's a top 5 player in the league, one of the best players of all time. It's going to be difficult. What Scottie Barnes can do, Kevin Durant can't. Kevin Durant is already, getting into his mid-30s here. 4 years on his contract, and obviously he's going to be I believe, one of the best players in the NBA throughout that contract. But Scottie Barnes, Raptors have him locked in for 3 more years on his rookie deal, plus a 5-year extension at the least. Over the course of those 8 years, you expect, based on what you saw from the first season of Scottie Barnes, you expect a guy who's consistently at an all-star level. Like, I would say at the expectation for me right now for Scottie Barnes that he's going to be a perennial all-star. I don't think that's completely unfair to suggest. I don't know what you guys think. I don't think it's overselling it. So you're going to have that, and hopefully you keep him after that. We're thinking very long-term for Scottie Barnes. That is a long-term player that you can build around. So you can't trade that. You can't trade that. But what you can trade draft capital, 100%. You can trade like 3 picks, 3 first-round picks, unprotected, plus maybe 1 or 2 pick swaps, and you can put together some pieces to really satisfy Brooklyn. Ben Simmons is still there. You give him some competitive pieces. Maybe that's a playoff team. I mean, whatever you get back for Kyrie Irving as well, maybe that's a playoff team. Maybe that's still a playoff team. Maybe not quite the contender, but I don't know the ambition of the Brooklyn Nets. The thing about this trade is that a lot of teams, like the favorites to get him are the Suns and the Miami Heat, the 2-1 seeds. Shout out Kevin Durant for just taking a cop-out trying to get to the best teams. But what these teams have to do, this is where it is a little bit of a gray area. You have to put together a package that's going to satisfy Brooklyn to land a top 5 player in the NBA. People in November were calling him the top player in the NBA. You have to put together a sizable package in order to make that happen. At the same time, you have to keep enough things so that when Kevin Durant shows up, you're good enough to go and win a championship in your first year. So for the Raptors, I said this guy's off limits, but how about this guy? I think if you're trading for Kevin Durant, this is your number 2. Everybody keeps saying he's a really good number 2. He's not a number 1 option. Well, how about making him a number 2 option to one of the best players in the league? Like, how good would Siakam and Kevin Durant be? So you can't trade either of these guys, or else I don't really think that trade is worth it. So now you go to Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., and OG Anunoby. And by the way, guys, this is Kevin Durant. Like, I know we love all those players, but I'm not saying you trade all of them, but this is Kevin Durant. This is 30 points per game on 52, 38 shooting with over 90, like 52, 38, 90. Like, this is a near 50, 40, 90 guy averaging 30 points, 7.5 rebounds, and over 6 assists for the first time in his career last year. This is an absolute monster that you're getting. I don't know if Gary Trent Jr. plus OG Anunoby plus 3 unprotected first-round picks plus 2 pick swaps, I don't know if that is necessarily enough for the Brooklyn Nets, but I genuinely struggle to see a team giving better than that. There is for the Suns, like Brooklyn want Booker, obviously. What's the point of getting KD if you're not going to put him with Booker? Like, that should be your duo. So I struggle to see the Suns making a trade happen. As far as the Miami Heat, I can see a trade. I can see them going with the 3+2 for the picks. I can see them giving up Hero, Robinson, maybe something else. I can see them giving a good trade there, but not Bam Adebayo. First of all, they wouldn't want to give Bam Adebayo because, again, you need to have players to play with Kevin Durant that are going to help you win a championship. Number 2, contractually speaking, there's something weird about the Brooklyn Nets trading for 2 players on their rookie scale extensions. So they already traded for Ben Simmons, so trading for Bam Adebayo. Apparently there's a problem that I'm not really completely understanding about. But even without that problem, trading Bam Adebayo, like, you want him there to play with KD, right? So for the Raptors, in my opinion, if you can make a trade happen and you can keep Siakam, Scottie Barnes, and one of VanVleet, Anunoby, and Trent, you do that. Like, if you can give OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., who I love and think they're great players, but like, this is Kevin freaking Durant. I don't even think this is enough. OG, Trent, 3 unprotected first-round picks, 2 pick swaps. That's what I would give. If I had to give like 4 first, probably backing away from that. It makes me a little bit uncomfortable to do that. If I have to give like Siakam, that makes me uncomfortable. I recognize it's Kevin Durant, but if you can make this trade happen, you've got Fred manning the point guard duties. You got 3 forwards in Siakam, Barnes, and Durant playing together. You got Achua as your starting center, good defender. Hopefully he ascends in that role. That's a championship caliber team from day one. Boucher, Thaddeus, you're on your bench. When you make a trade like that, you're bound to get free agents who want to come play with Kevin Durant, who want to contend for a championship. That would be a phenomenal team to put together 100%. I'd be uncomfortable giving more than that. I recognize that what the deal I just laid out probably doesn't get Kevin Durant, like Kevin freaking Durant, right? But I ultimately would be uncomfortable going a little bit more than that, because you do need to, like if you're doing this, it's championship or bust. So you need to be able to have a team capable of winning a championship. And it is very different to other like marquee guys asking for trades. Like this is 4 years of Kevin Durant you're getting. 4 years in that contract. So the prospect of that is very exciting. Ultimately, to finish off, this trade is really probably not going to happen. I'm holding out hope that the Raptors, it's possible. I'm holding out hope that they are on the phone trying to make this deal happen. But I just can't really see the Raptors doing it. I also can't really see Kevin Durant really wanting to come to the Raptors. It just seems like maybe too difficult of a situation, because he needs to be spoon-fed his championship. So unless he's getting spoon-fed like a 1 seed or something, he may not want to go there. So at the end of the day, unlikely, but hey, this is completely possible. The Raptors have pieces in play to make a Kevin Durant trade happen. Masai Ujiri's not going to get fleeced. He's not going to overpay. So we'll kind of see what happens, and we'll see where Kevin Durant ends up. But that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching Amateur TV for this one. If you did enjoy, be sure to drop a like to support the channel. When you like, it helps YouTube get this video out to more people who may enjoy it. Therefore, it gets more viewers and takes you just a second to like the video. And be sure to subscribe to this channel for more content all throughout the offseason. NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors. I'll see you again next time for another video on Amateur TV.